right into game, the first quarterfinal of the Valor series presented by AT&T.
And here we go, SK being the more aggressive team here, as predicted. They have a 4-man jungle invade, and then dropping to 3 with Prada going to the mid now, going to farm, and they're going to steal the blue buff. And the reason why, guys, the blue buff is taken because it gives a lot of cooldown abilities and allows you to farm a little faster in jungle and get ahead of your enemy team.
And Azur's going to get caught out. We talked a lot about how that Thane's very great at getting on the engage, but running away isn't going to be off of his best mark, as he's going to end up having to use that one ability to get himself away, and he's going to be forced to go back to base.
Yeah, and you can see how strong Superman and Teamy are. When Superman walks around, he starts flying, and he can use his abilities to do a lot of damage when he rushes towards him. And look at SK being so aggressive here. 3-on-3 right now as they're being collapsed on from this invade.
Yep, it's forcing the Wonder Woman to come up from the bottom side of the map because this aggression of SK is just way too much Vitality left to handle. You're going to have a little bit of a knock-up from Adme, but they're just going to disengage and go right back to their lane.
Yeah, and you saw that. He had his buff. So you see running, Superman charges up, and then he basically charged both enemies, and look how much health he took away from them. This is what makes Superman such a high-priority pick and ban in the meta right now. And in EU teams, they tend to let him through, thinking that they can counter him. So let's see if Vitality has a plan to counter this Superman.
We were talking, doing our prep and research beforehand, and a statement that you made very clear to yourself was if Superman's in the game, whoever picks him is going to win. I guess we're going to have to see if that's the case here for SK.
Yeah, he usually has a higher win rate, but he has lost actually in the Go Forward Cup. The reason why he's so strong is because he's a tank, he's a warrior, he's an assassin, and he's mobile.
Okay, he can't be everything at the same time,
He's basically a Superman. And look, they're making a play. The Spirit Sentinel spawns at the 150 mark, and SK rotates on it like precision. Abyssal Dragon spawns at 2, but with the Sentinel being taken, that gives the entire team of SK a little bit of gold and gives the person that kills the Sentinel a HP regeneration.
Ultimates are going to be available for both of these teams as that Abyssal Dragon is getting fought over. Vex, like what you mentioned, the damage that he's able to provide was just enough. Vex is going to take down Sweetero. Moon is going to be the next one on the menu. He's not going to be able to get away. Poseidon takes him down. Azur, the Thane might be able to get the skill shot from Vex, misses, but there's going to be a little bit of the speed up from Superman, and it looks like they might be able to just finish him off.
Yeah, this was huge for SK, and the reason why, you saw Vex, he actually turned level 4. He turned level 4 before all the other carries on Vitality did, and he used his ultimate immediately once he turned level 4, and that turned the tide of the fight in their favor. And now, because of their aggression in jungle, taking the Sentinel and the Abyssal Dragon, this puts them at 2K gold lead.
An early advantage, as well as the ability to counter jungle onto the side of Vitality. Wonder Woman's going to try to run away, but I don't think, actually, we stand corrected. Sweetero will survive, be forced back to the base, and just like that, 3 minutes, SK with a 3-0 lead over Vitality.
Yeah, and you look at the junglers here. Zil already has his first tier 3 item. He has his Loki's Curse, and Murad has not even finished a tier 3 item. So they're behind right now. So what Vitality needs to do is they need to turtle. They need to basically look for opportunities to take advantage of SK's overextension, over-aggression, and get some kills on the map. Because giving first blood over means you gave that person 300 gold and 3 kills already to 0, along with the Abyssal Dragon and Sentinel, puts Vitality a little bit behind in levels.
Well, we had a very aggressive start for SK, but things have normalized themselves out a little bit. We need to talk about when the next level of aggression is going to happen for SK.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be around when the Abyssal Dragon spawns again. The Sentinel spawning in 8 seconds here. You can see on the mini-map it's counting down. So SK expertly positions on that side of the map. So that's how a good team plays. And look at Xenios out coming in here, giving damage reduction to Azur, and this fight is so close. Let's see if Vitality's going to be able to turn this around and get 1 kill at least here.
Going to try to get everything, and Vex picks him up. Another kill into the game. Redemption's going to go down as well.
Wow.
Poseidon picking up that kill on the Moon, and now with the Spirit Sentinel up again, it looks like they're actually going to group themselves up and try to get this mid lane turret.
Yeah, they're going to go focus on tower here, which is the right thing because, again, objectives win the map. So they're going to push on the tier 1 tower, and then they're going to rotate over to either the Sentinel or the Abyssal Dragon. But you saw what SK did. As soon as the bat was spawning, the countdown, that's what a really good team does. They position and take map control of that side of the map, knowing that the objective is going to come up, because the teams that grab these objectives and stack Sentinel bats and Abyssal Dragon is a team that's going to get ahead in gold and experience.
And this is where things are really going to start to get scary for Vitality, because we're coming up on 60 seconds remaining until that Dark Slayer spawns, and we all know what happens when you're able to secure yourself that buff, especially after 2 Abyssal Dragons in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, so what Vitality needs to do now is to clean out their jungle as quick as possible. They need to get Murad to his mid-game power spike because he is pretty weak in the early game of the phase. SK, what they need to do is just invade and starve and push more towers down because they have a very healthy lead. And look at the level advantage. Level 8, 8, 7, 7 on the side of SK. And we have someone that's still level 5 on the side of Vitality. So SK needs to play aggressive and take advantage of this. And you can see how they're positioning, taking the bat every time. I mean, this is a team that has definitely studied the game and playing like clockwork now to shut down and starve out Vitality.
Coming up on the 5-minute, 40-second mark, we have an astronomical lead in favor of SK Gaming. They're up about 4,000 gold. We're going to have our roams towards the top side of the map. Remember, 12 seconds remaining until that Dark Slayer is up and available, so they want all the members towards that top side of the map, and this is where Vitality is going to have to get themselves some of a bit of protection because we might potentially see ourselves a dive.
Yeah, exactly. But what Vitality needs to do is clear out that wave immediately so they can't put any little amount of damage on a tower as possible, and they basically need to get a pick. They need to wait for SK to make a mistake because that's the only way they're going to get back into this game here. You can see Murad here is so mobile. He does another dimension, which is that circle, which makes him basically immune to damage and he cannot be targeted in that brief period. And also he can then teleport back to his original spot. And that is his ultimate right there. And you can see he's using it, but he's going to be caught out here and basically
great
lose the fight.
Great rotation there by SK Gaming. They're going to get themselves 2 hardy kills for their available. And just like that, the rotations again out of SK. You talked a lot about their aggressive maneuvering, and there hasn't been a Sage buff acquired by Vitality in the last few minutes as a result.
Yeah, they're constantly, they have that Sage buff on a jungle timer, and every time it's about to spawn, SK positions aggressively on that side of the map, sets themselves up with a 3-man invade normally, 3 to 4-man invade, and then they're able to put pressure in and starve them out. And look at, they're always taking a dragon. As soon as these objectives spawn, their team is constantly set up and in position to quickly take it. And look at the gold lead now and experience lead.
Timing is the name of the game for Arena of Valor, and that timing has been impeccable by SK. We talked a lot about their precision as well as their ability to coordinate as a team, and that's exactly what they're doing now at just over 7 minutes in the game. They're up 6.7 thousand gold over Vitality.
Yeah, Vitality still has a chance to get back in here. They have to just get a really good team fight. But right now, SK is giving them a really hard time because of how tight their movements have been. The team is rotating so well together that they're not overextending. They're playing very, very patiently. And then basically when an enemy gets dived on like Superman does 2v1, they're rotating to help him and support him immediately.
And so just like that, it's going to be another little bit of a scuffle. You can see the ultimates coming out, but here we go. Poseidon's going to try to join himself onto the mark. Going to miss the skill shot. Thane's going to try to get everything that he wants on it. Moon's going to try to join the fray as well, but they're going to have to be going themselves back and forth because we're not going to get a kill just yet. Yeah,
one thing you notice, SK is being aggressive once they clear out the enemy jungle of Murad. Murad needs to hit and stack to basically open up his rift. Once he has 4 stacks, he can then use his ultimate called Temporal Turbulence, which allows him to poke and not get targeted and not take any damage. You see him jumping across the map with his shadows behind. That is Murad's win condition. If he has no jungle on his side, he cannot stack, then he cannot use his win condition. You can see there 4, and that's his ultimate right there. His Temporal Turbulence does so much damage. So once they need to get him to the late game. Once Murad gets to the late game, he's a monster to deal with.
And Vitality, they need to switch their direction over. They went from a very reactive playstyle. They have to find a way to switch themselves on a proactive because if this aggression by SK continues, there's not going to be much that Vitality can do as a result. And now, Eek is going to get himself caught out. He's going to go down. Legendary goes Vex. And this is going to be another valiant effort by SK to continue to push themselves forward against Vitality.
Look at the Superman's damage there. Took over a half of Redemption's health with just 1 initiation. That is the power of Superman because he can fly and walk. When he's flying and moving that fast, you need to be careful with how he engages because he does so much damage if he catches you out.
5.2 thousand gold in his pocket. 3, 0, and 8 for the Superman himself as the Dark Slayer goes down. And this is where things start to get to a disastrous situation for Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, SK has Teamy. Teamy's ultimate is being a bro. When he activates his ultimate before his carries die, they revive his carries. So Teamy's ultimate is so powerful, and that's why. And they haven't even need to use it yet. This is how ahead SK is right now with their team, and you can see how expert they're playing. Look at their rotations; they're constantly rotating and catching out Vitality. And like I said, Vitality needs to get a pick. They need to rotate together, 5-man, and hopefully win an uneven numbers advantage when it comes to 5 versus 3, for example.
Arena of Valor doesn't have any sort of vision utility at their disposal, and so teams face checking, if they catch themselves in an unfortunate skirmish, will find themselves a loss, as now we're going to start to see SK Gaming push themselves on this tier 2 bot lane turret. Azure is going to go down. That's going to be another legendary attack for Vex, and this is going to be a very fast tower. We're at 10.5 minutes into the game. Towers are going down quickly.
Yeah, they are. We see this a lot in SEA. The Superman 7 went behind the tower and then rushed them and pushed Azure into them. And look at this fight here. This is Vitality's chance to turn this game around if they win this fight.
They can. Vex, he is going to be able to be shut down by Pseudo. That's the main damage dealer for the side of SK that has done everything off the mark, but it doesn't matter because they're still going to be forced to go back in the mark. The tier 2 turret in the mid lane goes, and now the high ground turrets are going to be the priority target here for SK Gaming.
Yeah, you can see Zil. Zil has Hekates, which gives him Magic Pierce and 30% ability power across the band. Zywinder, which is an item that gives him 50% attack speed, and he's a mage assassin that does a lot of magic damage. So when he attacks quicker, it's going to give him so much damage burst as an assassin. And this build from Zil makes him extremely dangerous in the late game. And he has also Enchanted Boots. Enchanted Boots gives him even more pierce. So watch Zil and watch how much damage Vex is going to do here when he uses Zil's ultimate.
15-1, 36,000 to the 25,000 SK over Vitality right now. And obviously, it's safe to say that SK is very heartily in the lead. So Vitality, depending, they might decide to chalk this one up to a loss. How are they going to change things for Game 2, considering the way that Game 1 is going?
Yeah, they have to protect their jungle. They need to allow Redemption to scale. And if they know that SK is going to invade them, they need to trade more often. Don't even fight for the blue buff. Just trade and counter invade. And basically, you avoid the enemy team. You basically do opposite exactly what they're doing. So if they're invading your jungle, you invade their jungle, and you basically don't fight.
And
look at that
This could potentially be the last team fight, depending on how SK decides to play this out. No one has gone down quite yet, but here is where Vex continues to get the onslaught that he's had. Superman is going to try to go in. They're going to have all the damage against on the tower. Moon will take him down, but the damage does not continue. That high ground turret's going to go down. Vex does a great job at ignoring the team members to secure that objective, and this is the efficiency of SK that we've seen time and time again.
Yeah, and you see that, well, Vitality did get 2 kills, but you see Teamy's ultimate. He actually revived, if you guys are wondering why we had that 1 kill and they killed on top tower, Teamy revived his ally, and they were able to come back right into the fight because of that ultimate. And this is what makes Teamy so strong. But this is a decent trade for Vitality. They did lose the tower, though, but they did get 2 kills, which kind of puts them back in the game. But again, they're still behind more than 10k gold and have not touched or gotten any Abyssal Dragon or Sentinels.
Well, the gates have been opened. The middle high ground turret has been destroyed. SK securing themselves every Abyssal Dragon that has spawned and increasing their lead to 12,000 at the 13-minute mark. And with the more powerful minions coming down the mid lane, a simple split, a simple potential could happen for SK to take the Game 1 victory.
Yeah, and I want to comment about Superman's build. The reason why Superman has no kind of attack items yet, except for maybe that spear, he does 12% of his own maximum HP as damage, and he also has the Mail of Pain. That actually reflects damage that he gets. So as an initiator, this is a great build for Superman. It makes him super tanky, reflects damage, and can then CC and disrupt his enemy team.
And that's why you see him on the split push. No one from Vitality can handle him at this point. The other 4 members are going to have, but just like that, 7 actually going to rotate themselves around. The bloodbath happens as Poseidon is able to take down another member of Vitality, and this could spell death, disaster, and the Game 1 loss, as Vitality is doing everything they can to continue to fight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Moon secures that kill onto Vex, but all the while, Pitch is going to have it. But again, Vitality barely gets himself survived, but look at how low that high ground turret on the top side is.
Yeah, it is, and I was surprised SK didn't focus the high ground turret on the right side, because that turret was doing so much work. It was like the sixth teammate of the side of Vitality. However, they're so ahead that the damage just isn't enough coming up from the side of Vitality. They don't have a lot of tier 3 items to do that damage.
And this is where things are going to start to get even scarier for Vitality. 2 of the 3 high ground turrets are done. The last-ditch effort, Pitch is going to find himself. He's going to go out, but it doesn't matter because that whip from Sudaro is to get him back. The members of SK are going to have to be forced to disengage, but with less than 10% on that final high ground turret, as well as 2 already taken away, it looks like the cards are spelled out clearly for SK.
Yeah, I love what Vitality is doing. Look at that. 4 of their carries have Medallion of Troy. Right, Thane, Wonder Woman, L'Oreal. Medallion of Troy is gives you a ton of magic defense and also gives you a shield that protects you. You see Wonder Woman Thane, they have that little bubble around them. That's what Medallion Troy does. So because Vitality has 2 mage carries, they have a Zil and a Preda, which are both mages and do a lot of burst damage. So Vitality is building very efficiently here to counter SK's damage output.
They are indeed, but with very little infrastructure left for the side of Vitality, disaster could be struck very soon, but here is Vitality actually coming get themselves back. Ika is going to be able to pick that kill up, and so now the onslaught from Vitality. You said they were prioritizing the items appropriately, and just like that, they're able to secure themselves a nice little couple kills.
This is huge for Vitality, and it's exactly what they need to do, but earlier they grouped up, had an unfair fight. This is such a great fight to kind of rewatch later, but what they did there, they have a lot of magic defense. They have a good power spike, right? They can survive long. Look how much defense Thane is building as well. That allowed him to soak up the damage and allow his carries to then delete the side of SK there. So Vitality has a chance to come back in this game, even though they're still down 10k gold.
10,000 gold down, but the hopes and the dreams of Vitality are still alive as Redemption is going to do all of the damage right off the start with that ultimate. Now they're chasing down onto the mid lane, forcing the members of SK to rotate, and I like the fact that Vitality is sticking together. In these situations, there's so much damage on the side of SK that if they can chain their CC together and stay as a unit, they're going to have a much higher chance for success.
Yeah, exactly. The key is Vitality needs... Murad is still behind in terms of his build, but he has 3 damage items, Soul Reaver, Rank Breaker, and Muramasa, which gives him some lifesteal, a little bit of damage, some pierce from the Rank Breaker. He can do a lot of poke because if you look at the side of SK, Preda does not have that much defense, so Preda should be Murad's focus. Preda just has no armor defense, so Murad is going to do so much damage onto Preda if he can land an ultimate onto that hero. So let's see if Vitality can turn this around and play to their win condition here.
Gonna have the Dark Slayer going down again in favor of SK. That health and mana regen is so important for a lot of these fights, as it looks like Azur's gonna have to be forced to walk away, but the team he wants to come in, he wants to fight a very tanky front line for the members of SK.
Yeah, they should not fight this because Dark Slayer gives your entire enemy team a 30% damage amp. That is really dangerous to pick a fight against, so they need to play passively, just play defensive, clear out the wave, and protect this tower here, and not get hit by the pokes of Preda, which they're being subjected to right now. So they need to play a little cautiously here so that they can survive and win this team fight.
Still 2 high ground turrets are down and out for the count. The next wave of minions is going to come down, and this is going to be all but on the menu.
This is the fight here.
This is going to be the final fight, potentially, of the match. All 3 high ground turrets have been completed. Moon is going to be very low, but he's going to try to get himself healed right back up. Super minions again are deployed, but Vex ignores the rest of the team, ignores the members. He's going to take down the core. Game 1 goes to SK Gaming.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do to take off the core. Once the minions are there, the core loses its defensive buffs, and then they can just take it out immediately.